Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys stopping by the channel to check the video out. Always appreciate that. Guys, today we're going to be talking about something I've been wanting to do this video for a while. It's been sort of bugging me. I want to talk about the disrespect that a lot of bass anglers show towards the bass, and how, in my opinion, people like that don't even deserve to catch a fish. There's 3 or 4 different areas I want to talk about this, and I think a lot of it is just these people have not been taught better. So we're going to go into that in today's video and give you my opinion, and I'll be curious to get your guys' feedback on that as well. Also, guys, just a quick invitation. I'd just like to invite everybody out there, if you haven't considered, to please consider subscribing here to Intuitive Angling. It's a good way to support the channel, along with using all the links we put in the description. All you guys that have been purchasing your fishing tackle through my tackle warehouse link that's in the description every video, a big thank you for me and my family. Just want to let you guys know that. Okay, guys, I'm pretty sensitive about this topic here as far as people that disrespect bass, and there's a lot of them out there. The problem that you have with this is there's a lot of people out there that they have some type of they feel that human beings have some type of a hierarchy on this planet, and that other species that live here are just secondary to us and don't deserve to be here. Guys, a bass has every much right to be on this planet as we do. We don't have any more right to be on this planet than a bass does. And like any other creature out there, whether it be human or any other creature, every creature on this planet deserves to be respected, because every single creature on this planet serves a role, serves a purpose, and we're all interconnected to some level. And a lot of people can't really grasp that concept. They think bass are this pea-brain inanimate object that doesn't mean anything out there. And this is just because the way people are raised. If you're not taught to respect wildlife and other creatures on this planet when you're a little kid, you're not going to respect them when you get older. And there's a lot of different situations with this that I want to talk about. First of all, a lot of people they just think bass are stupid. They think they're little pea-brain creatures, and they're not, guys. Bass are geniuses. They are smarter than humans in a lot of different ways. They've been on this planet for over 3 million years. They're masters at their environment. They're masters at adaptation and evolving to meet the challenges of their changing environment. And they've been able to endure for longer than humans have been on this planet. Humans have only been here for a little over 1 million years or so, but bass have been here for 3 times that much. You don't survive as a species, by being stupid for that long. But the main thing I want to talk about today is the way that some anglers treat bass when they catch them. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves that just makes me angrier than anything, and I've seen this a lot lately. How many times have you guys seen this? There'll be some dude on the Elite Series or on the Bass Pro Tour that, they stick a good one, a 4 or 5 pounder, and they reel it in like a freaking, madman. They swing it in the boat. Fish flops in the boat, just sitting there flopping everywhere, and their fist pumping, going, "That's what I'm talking about." That just pisses me off. That is the ultimate disrespect. When somebody catches a fish, flops it in the floor, the fish is flopping everywhere, getting all its slime coat off of there, and they're celebrating to stroke their ego. Guys, if those anglers just need a timeout. It's just plain and simple. They have not been taught to respect the fish, simply the way they're perceiving that. They see a fish as something that doesn't have any value. It's a thing that is only there to serve their purposes and whatever. They don't treat it as an equal on this planet. But the main thing with that is when so many people that I've seen, this is another scenario that I see as far as why I think that fishing should be tough and needs to be tough at times. Because if you guys have been bass fishing very long, one of the most rare things that happen in fishing, but it will happen if you fish long enough, is you're going to have those days once in a while where you're catching them like crazy. And it's just like you're catching them every other cast or every cast. And guys, I have seen this. I've experienced it myself, and I've witnessed it watching it on TV. How many times have you seen somebody out there that is just catching them, boom, 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 and they're catching so many fish, and they're catching them so fast, it's almost like an irritation to the person if the bass is not the right size. And they reel it in as fast as they can, they unhook it, chunk it in the water, like it again, like it's this thing that there's no respect whatsoever. It's just like, it's almost like an inconvenience that you have to unhook this small fish before, so you can throw in there and catch another one. Those are, again, the anglers that need to take a time out. If you can't take the time to just give some thanks and appreciate and respect every single bass that you catch, then you need to reevaluate your entire concept about bass fishing. That is the main thing with it. It's like every fish that you catch is special. Take some time to just appreciate it and just, acknowledge the fact that it's there. Don't treat it like just some piece of wood or something and chunk it back in the water, without even a second thought with it. I think a lot of people, they don't practice appreciation and gratitude enough with that. And as a result, it diminishes the entire experience, and it's a tremendous disrespect to the fish. I think one of the responsibilities as a bass angler is you've got to have a tremendous amount of respect for everything you're involved with. You have to have respect for the environment that you're in, take care of it. You have to have respect for the fish, and you have to appreciate what they're going through and what they have been through. That's one of the biggest struggles I've always had in my career, guys. It's like, I love to fish and it's fun. I love to catch fish for fun, but catching fish for fun at the expense of the fish as whatever it goes through, I deal with that. I'll be honest with you guys, and that's one of the things that you hear a lot of the PETA and anti-fishing groups talk about is they think that fish feel pain. I don't believe that they feel pain at all in the same way that we do. They just don't have the nervous system out there. But nevertheless, regardless if those fish feel pain or not, they still deserve respect with that. And I had a chance to talk with some people from PETA one time because they showed up at a tournament. We were at a FLW tournament, and the PETA showed up there, and they were dressed as, they had costumes on as fish. They were dressed as fish, and they were on this anti-fishing program. So anyway, I just went up, and most of them were like college age, and they were younger girls. And I went up to them, and I just, I wanted to talk to one of them, just sort of see, where they were coming from and what their point of view is. So I went up to this, there was this one about an 18-year-old girl there that she had this sign that said, "Fishing is a pain." And I just said, I really appreciate you guys being here. I said, you're in a hostile environment, because they were in an environment with, hundreds of good old boys around them, and they're up there in the middle of it. Take some courage, regardless of what you think about PETA or not. That takes some courage to do that, to have that conviction. So anyway, she said, well, we're on a campaign against fishing because it causes pain to the fish. And I just said, have you considered this? I said, instead of targeting anglers and targeting bass anglers, why don't you target like the companies that are polluting the air and the water that affects these fish? Target the people that are putting point source pollution in the lake, and causing issues with that. And they didn't really know how to respond to that. They were just, they had their talking points and they were going to stick to it. But the point of the matter is I respect people like that have a commitment to wanting to, ensure the respect for the fish, and, in whatever form that takes. And I just think that is lacking a lot in the bass fishing community, especially amongst what I call the good old boy crowds. A lot of those people out there, and I'm not trying to say others or something like that, but a lot of people simply have not been raised to respect the fish. And it's plain and simple with that. And one of the things that I've always admired is a lot of the Native American viewpoints on the respect towards wildlife, because here's the difference between like a Native American hunter and a modern day hunter-killer, which I call now with the modern techniques. Back 1,000 years ago, it's like, let's say, for example, you were in an Indian tribe and you had to take one deer a week to keep your tribe alive. So you're out there, you're tracking, you're stalking, you're trying to find, this deer, and say for example, you see this deer off in the distance, and you track this deer for 2 or 3 days. And through the skills you have as a hunter, you're able to get close enough to that deer to take that deer. Now, once that hunter takes that deer from a close range, there's a tremendous amount of respect for taking that deer from a close range, because you have to know that deer on an intimate level. But more importantly, when that deer is taken, there is a humbleness and a tremendous amount of gratitude and respect and almost sorrow for taking that animal's life, But at the same time, there's an acknowledgement and there's a gratitude that that animal is going to sustain the tribe. So the Indian that took that would give a tremendous amount of thanks and gratitude towards the animal as they were actually cleaning it. We don't have that today with bass fishing. Bass fishing today has way too many anglers I talked about that jack them in the boat, flip them in the floor of the boat, they flop around and they're fist pump and say, yeah, like I said, you know, that's what I'm talking about, which is that's my biggest pet peeve saying I hear any angler talk about. So anyway, the main thing about it is like we have just got to sort of re-educate a group of anglers in this country to respect the fish more. Respect them for their place on this planet. Respect them for what they're actually providing you. Don't take them for granted. Don't treat them like some object. Don't treat them like you're better than they are. And once you do that, and once you humble yourself and give yourself the ability to show respect and gratitude to that bass, then I hope that you catch as many fish as you possibly can. And all you other guys out there that are goofing on that and don't get it, I hope that you can take some time to do some deep self-reflection. And once you do that, you'll see where I'm coming from on this and maybe make some change for the positive. So we'll talk later, guys.